I've unrecorded that. Oh, here we go. Record. Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone's fine and Happy New Year. Happy 2021. Let's hope it's a dance up better than 2020. Can't get much worse now, can it? So today I've got my lovely friend Jenny Luddington with me. Good morning, Jen.
Hello, how are you? I just had the phone on to check that we were going live, and then I could suddenly hear us, so I quickly turned it off.
We're live. It's a good job we weren't live earlier on, because the conversation was a bit diverse, wasn't it? A bit of a funny 5 minutes earlier, but never mind. So we're live. We're definitely live. We're here on Talking with My Goddess, and Jenny is here today, and she's going to talk about her WOTY. Nobody be alarmed. It's quite safe. It's quite legal.
And it's safe for workplaces and children.
And it's not as vulgar as it sounds. And her 21 for 21. So Jenny, I think you better clear this up first of all. What is your WOTY and what are you talking about it for?
Right, a WOTY is your word of the year. Now, I got this practice from Gretchen Rubin from the Happier podcast. And basically, a WOTY is kind of an intentional word to anchor you for the year ahead. And poor old Claire's absolutely lost it.
Right, I'm sorry. This is my professional walking with my goddess face.
That's a very fabulous face. So I've had over the years, I think I've been doing this from 2015.
Yeah.
And the very first WOTY that I had was shine. Mm-hmm. But I had an idea in my head that it was going to be adventure. And I went off and I did a labyrinth walk. And when I got to the centre of the labyrinth, thinking it's going to be adventure, it's going to be adventure, it's going to be adventure, it was shine. And at that point, I was a youth worker. And my career was very much around being in the wings, shoving a young person into the centre stage and letting them shine. And that year, it was about taking centre stage myself and learning to shine more. So other years,
isn't it?
Oh, it is. Other years, I've had Dare. That was the year I did my fire walking.
Walking.
Yeah, that was amazing. I did it for Pilgrim's Hospice.
Wow.
And I walked the fire, and they do a lot of work to kind of prep you up and think you can. Yeah. And I'd read all this stuff about, you know, it not actually being hot and stuff like that, and there being a lot of physics involved, which there is. But I'm sitting there, and actually it all came from my mum. And my mum said, oh, actually, it isn't really hot. It is. It is really, really hot. The way that it works is that your feet aren't in contact with the coals for very long. That's how you don't get burnt. But you can get a little bit stick to you. And if that happens, that does hurt, sort of thing. But if you ever get the chance to do one, because it makes you feel like you can conquer the world. So that was one of the highlights of the year. It was Dare. Another year it was Deep, and that was about, I have a lot of hobbies and a lot of interests, and I buy a lot of books, and some of those books end up left on my bedside. So that year I didn't allow myself to buy any new books, buy any more craft materials. It was all about going deeper with the stuff that I already had.
I remember you saying that.
And
that made us giggle too.
Found out the common denominator here. It's your smotty mind. It's not me, it's her.
My daughter's listening. Shush now.
So last year's word was the word kaizen, and it's a Japanese noun, and it means gradual improvement. And I have a bit of a boom or bust mentality. So it's like, do all the things, and then I'm absolutely knackered and I can't do anything. And that goes along with my health and everything else. I mean, as you know, I have a condition called functional neurological disorder. We shorten that to FND, and I have epilepsy. So I've really got to try as much as I can to be calm and steady and measured. And that's probably not my natural attitude. I'm like, ooh, ooh, ooh. So this word kaizen was about this gradual self-improvement, and it's not just about having a word, it's what does that word look like. So for me, I started doing this daily hour of self-maintenance. So it didn't have to be an hour all in one block, because that's like really, really hard.
I was thinking that.
The same things day in, day out. So I like a little bit of mixing things up. So it was just an hour. So it might be 10 minutes of meditation. It might be 20 minutes of reading a book. It might be doing a monthly challenge, because I quite like a monthly challenge. Yeah. But just something, an hour a day because I'd gone off the term self-care. I thought it'd been hijacked to just being bubble baths.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So I took it as self-maintenance, because maintenance is stuff that you have to do. You have to maintain a car.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, it's a different. Yeah, it is. It might be low grade, but it is definitely an internal maintenance, isn't it?
Yeah. So that was years past. Now this year, my word for the year is impeccable, and that sounds quite high, doesn't it? Quite like you've got to be impeccable all the time, and perfection isn't the goal. I know that sometimes I'm going to fall short of that mark, but it's the intention. And it's from a book called The Four Agreements. And one of the agreements is to be impeccable with your word.
Yeah.
And I caught myself in the last couple of months listening to my internal monologue, listening to that, and actually listening to the words that I say out loud to other people. And it's not been great, if I've been completely honest with myself. You know, I know that I have an inner bint sort of thing, and she can have quite a barbed tongue. And usually I'm fairly non-judgmental. You have to be if you work with people like that. You have to accept them and love them unconditionally, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But the last couple of months, I've not liked what I'm hearing and what I'm saying. And I think I know what that's about. I think this year's been tough, and there's a lot of things that are outside of our control. And I think sometimes when we kind of slip into that judgment mode, it makes us feel like we have more control, because that's right and that's wrong and that's good and that's bad, and I'm doing the right thing and everybody else isn't. But
it's a whole us and them thing, isn't it? And divide and conquer. I mean, that's how that works, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's a false control, because afterwards you kind of think, well, that wasn't kind, that wasn't loving, that's not bringing people together, that's dividing people, exactly as you say. So that's why I chose impeccable for this word. I'm human, I am flawed, I am going to have a little because that's human nature.
It's not a huge part of your nature, though. You are generally very tolerant and very, I mean, I know we have our odd moan together, don't we? I mean, it has been known that we've sat in the car of judgment, and we have, as we've been driving along, we've had our little thing. But yeah, generally it's not a state that you would normally be in. I mean, I've known you about 5-6 years, and it's not a Jenny thing as a rule. So for you to feel that, it's just a very, very honest and very vulnerable place to put yourself in. So that's a really good start, isn't it, on being impeccable?
Yeah, and it's that you have these thoughts and you have these feelings, and you also have that kind of observer of them, and it's just remembering to check in. One of the things I want to do, I haven't done it yet, is I want to make myself a little beaded bracelet, just with elastic and the little letter beads, with just impeccable on the wrist. So every time I'm typing or looking at it, I get to see that, just as that little reminder. So that's me. What about you? I know that you've chosen a word of the year. What was yours?
Oh, I have. I'm just going to say good morning to Sophie, Shirley, Sylvie, and Fiona and Kaylee are here as well. Other people may be here, but they're the ones here that have commented. So, morning, ladies. My word of the year is time, which is a bit of an odd one. It's a bit ambiguous, but it's got to be ambiguous, because without banging on about me, Fiona likes your letters idea, and so does Sylvie. I think that's a really good idea. Without banging on and being poor old me, I've got a few health issues at the moment, so I don't know what this year's going to bring. And obviously last year we all thought, yeah, 2020 is our year, we're going to do this. Morning, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to, yay, brilliant. And then coronavirus went, I don't think you are, mate. Do you know what I mean? So I know I've got to go into a hospital for at least one other operation, probably two. And I may have to have some treatment as well, which will mean that maybe going out and getting places and having the energy to do things. I mean, hopefully it's nothing serious, but if it is something serious, if they find there's something serious, I know my ability to go out, mix with other people, as well as coronavirus, is going to be compromised physically. So I've deliberately given myself time, because if it's a year where I have to really slow down and really go, right, okay, I need to heal, I need to allow this to heal, I need to have this, then time is going to be very, very important. And I'm going to have to take time for me and really value time. And if it's a year where they come and go, yeah, do you know what? It's just a cyst, your cyst has gone bonkers in your colon, off your trot, love. I'm going to be like, yay, running off into the sunset, doing everything I can with this little bit of a buzz of, no, that was a darn bit scary. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I'm, you know, it's a bit of a, it's not a brush with death. That's too strong a thing, but it's definitely a wake up call. And like, my time is finite, mate. I'm 50 this year. My time is finite. All those things that I've been going, and I had a conversation with Sherry the other day, our friend Sherry. You know, she put on a thing and it said, if you could have one of these things, what was it? And one was the, it was different things. It was not to have fear. And one of them was to have all the time you wanted, the time to do all the things you wanted. And I said, that's what I want, is the time to do the things I want while I can. Because I could live to be 100, but I could spend the last 20 years not being able to get out and do anything. Do you know what I mean? I mean, so that sort of resounded with me, and I'm just like, you know, so I've got a lot of things that I want to do, and I'm thinking, why don't I do them? Why do I sit there and go, oh, maybe I'll do that next year? I'm not sure about that. You know, like, is it me old nemesis imposter syndrome? No, imposter syndrome has been banished with 2020, I'll have you know. So so mine is time, because it works for if I have a good year, if I have a bad year. Either way, I can run or stagger with it. And, you know, and get the most out of it for me, depending, because I might, you know, I don't know, none of us know what's going on in the future. None of us know what's going on with coronavirus too. So, morning, Jade. Fiona's had a really good idea. We could make salt dough beads in a mid-moot activity. That's interesting.
Ooh, that would be lovely.
Good thinking, Fee. So, yeah, so I did do and here's one I prepared earlier. Did you want to see my WOTY chart?
Yes, please, show me your WOTY chart.
So this is my one for time, and it's got all the different bits for time on it, and lots of just things, you know, clocks. And there's a John Lennon quote there, which is, time you enjoy wasting was not wasted. I think my friend Alex told me that as well. Time to plan. And this one here, quit saying you don't have time, you have time for what you make time for in life. And I'm like, yeah, that's true.
That's really true.
That's so true. And if you're waiting for the right time, it's now.
Yeah,
and it is, because you can always do something about it. And do you know what really sparked this off with me? I don't know, there's a book by Molly someone, and I read it when I was a young teenager, and it's called The Sound of Chariots. I don't know if you ever read it, and the quote that starts it is, but at my back I always hear time's winged chariot hurrying near, which is an Andrew Marvell quote from...
That poem got me pregnant.
So that's why I'm not doing a WOTY, because I don't want to be pregnant at 49.
I love that. You know, that poem starts off, if we had world enough and time, this coyness mistress were no crime. And it is exactly that. It's about seizing life, making the most of the moment, because all we have is the now. Yes. You know, the past is gone. Tomorrow's not promised. We've got this moment now.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. Oh, I'm in double there. Right, so I'm not coming anywhere near Lou, your other half, this year. I'm not coming to Folkestone, I'm staying here in Maidstone. The stones shall not meet this year. The stones, I didn't realise that. Anyway, so sorry, getting back to the point before everybody goes, what are these two nut jobs? That was my WOTY. And what I did last year, I did have a WOTY last year, which was Believe, and I kind of put that in my 2020 vision board, which we'll come to in a minute. But I had this on the wall in my little, I very, you know, Mrs. Bouquet-ishly call it my study. It's the third bedroom. It's the tiny bedroom that you can just about get a bed in, and it looks a peaceful oasis of calm there. If you saw this bit, there's boxes and craft stuff and books to read and all sorts, but it's on the wall. And as I sit here, my computer's on this computer desk, it's there. And I find looking at it, and this is a tip you gave me, you keep looking at it, you keep seeing it, and you keep reminding yourself and reinforcing it in yourself. And another tip you gave me a couple of years ago was to take a picture of it and put it as your screensaver on your phone. And I kept looking at that when all the things that I achieved last year were just wishes, just that'd be nice. And I kept looking at it and thinking, I could do that, I'm going to do that. And I actually looked at the one on my phone, and nearly all of it, apart from the one by the cottage and a piece of land, because I haven't won the lottery, probably because I haven't done it. But apart from that, I've pretty much done everything on there because I kept seeing it, because I kept reinforcing it and thinking, this is what I want, this is what I'm going to have. And it's not drive a Ferrari, dripping diamonds, you know, it's simple things that it just means I've got to sit down, knuckle down and do. So that was really helpful, that tip. And have it as your screensaver on your computer as well, did that as well. And that's, again, you turn your computer, like you said, how many times do you look at your phone, do you look at your computer screen, and you just go, oh yeah, I've got to do that. Yeah, that's on my list. So there's my WOTY gone out the window because I don't want a baby. Sophie's still listening. She's probably going, no, mum, we don't want babies. No, not from you, not this year. Not at nearly 50. If it's even still possible. So I think that's our WOTYs discussed.
That is our WOTYs aired in public, and now we are accountable.
Well, it's better than what's nearly aired earlier on. So moving swiftly on. So you shared the I shared the article about from Gretchen Rubin earlier in the week, the 21 for 21. So is it Leonie Dawson, the 100 list that is it Leonie Dawson?
Right, so there's a couple of things. I used to get these books from Leonie Dawson called Create Your Shining Life, and they served me really, really well. They're lovely, really pretty journals sort of thing. And one of the activities she had in that was the 100 list. Mm-hmm. And it's basically 100 concrete goals that you want to achieve in the year ahead. And I got on board with that quite quickly. I was good at breaking it down into segments that made it, you know, easier to write down. I always used to leave 20, and I used to do this every New Year's Eve. I used to leave 20 sort of like slots for the things I didn't even know were possible, because, you know, it's maybe in July you find out about an event in November. So I always used to leave space for the things I didn't even know were possible. And what Leonie says about goal setting is that 80% of people don't think about goals. 16% of people think about goals but don't write them down. 4% of people think about their goals and write them down. And 1% of people think about their goals, write them down, and then regularly review them. So guess which group of people are the highest achievers?
Maybe that 1%.
It is that 1%. And, you know, as I said, I've been doing this for a number of years, and it really does make a difference. So the first year I did it, I think I got 50 of the things that I wanted to do done. The next couple of years it was 60, and I reviewed my 100 list around October time, and I got 74 in COVID year. And I was absolutely shocked at that. And mainly the ones that I didn't get done was going to the theatre and going to the cinema, just because things weren't out. That last 20 on the list were things that I could find out about online. So there are a lot of things like doing the...
Sorry, Sylvie's just gone, that makes 101%.
Well, I might have got one of those wrongs.
Yeah,
Never the strong point.
Sylvie, we're special. We want 101%, darling. Sorry, interrupting you there. Just made me laugh. I had to share that with you.
We're always open to gentle correction, as you well know.
And who says you can only have 100%, eh?
I think it's quite a mathy thing.
It was 80, 16, 4 and 1. She's absolutely right. But
yeah.
I know what you mean. 1% of that 100%. Aim for 10 at 110%. Exactly, Sylvie. That's it. Yeah. Sorry, darling. Back to your the things you hadn't. It was just like the cinema and that, which wasn't open, so you just physically couldn't do it.
Yeah. The other thing was going to see Robin in China. Strangely enough, that didn't happen.
Why would you not want to go to China?
I know. But, you know, he came home. It was lovely. It was something different. And then again, with Gretchen Rubin, she did something. I think she came across it in 2017, and I started doing it from 2018. And it was at the time, 18 in 2018 was the first time I did it. And I thought, well, for people who are quite new to goal setting, this might be easier. So I've done both in the past. I've done 100 lists, and then I've looked through that list and thought, well, actually, what are my priorities? What do I really want to get done? And that makes my smaller list. So this year, it's 21. So you get a couple more to play with. You get 21 for 21. So I have one that I prepared earlier, and if you're okay, I'll share my list with you.
Go for it. Go for it.
Right, let me just find it. Right. So that's my little list. Because I don't know about you, I love a little list. And before I read mine, I wanted to say, these are your lists, and you are totally at liberty to change your goals. You know, just because you've written it down, sometimes we write things down because we think we should do something, the whole tyranny of the shoulds. If for whatever reason you're not going to be able to achieve it and you don't want it on your list anymore, cross it out. You can always print out another one. You know, this is your list, it's for you. These are tools to inspire, not sticks to beat yourself with, because I know if I'd have probably come across this when I was younger and I was very much, you know, I have to be everything and do it perfectly, I'd never would have got any of these done, because I would have been scared of failing.
Yes, definitely.
So I do something quite cunning with my list. On New Year's Eve, I put something on that list that I know I'm going to do. So my first goal was host a New Year's Eve review and release party. Ka-ching!
Did you do that?
Did you? And I think a lot of you who are listening in were in. I hope
we were there. Yeah, Phoebe's there, wasn't she?
Good for you as it was for us.
It was. And Shirley says, as the saying goes, aim for the moon. If you fall short, you'll land amongst the stars. So aim for.
Oh, I love that, Shirley.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And that is in there for a reason, because it gives me that momentum. Actually, I've got one off this list. Only 20 left to go. My second one was being more impeccable. Well, heavens for Betsy, did I not tie that to my word of the year?
Yes.
And I've sort of said, right, Jenny, what you just said then wasn't very impeccable, was it? How can you rephrase it? Just bring me back to my vibration of love. Number 3, more herbalism. So I started last year doing this online herbal course with a guy called Richard Levi, and he's absolutely lovely. And he runs I think it's a moot in London, but they're doing stuff online, and it's the Circle of Circe. So if you check that out, great guy, really knows his onions and his herbs. So I can see you writing things down there.
Oh, look at this belladonna. You can eat that.
No.
You
It's
can't.
a trained herbalist.
You can't eat belladonna. Don't try that one at home, people.
Right, number 4, and again, I know that lovely Claire's involved in this, the Get in the Habit Studio. So this is our fabulous friend, Sue. She has created this online studio. It's like an online community centre. But I want to be there as a creatrix, as somebody producing content. So I'm doing my free wellbeing book club, and that's the first Monday of the month. But I've also got a workshop, which is Tune In Tuesday, and that is for people who are a little bit harried for whatever reason. You might be a mum, you might be a carer, you might be a professional who constantly skips lunch. So this is a lunchtime, it's a little guided meditation, some journaling and a circle share. So the kind of things that we all love to do.
Harried, I love that word.
Harried, I'm quite harried at work. The amount of time I've started putting soup in a flask because I don't often even get time to heat it in a microwave.
Not good.
So number 5, volunteer with the Therapist Network. So they're a local network for complementary therapists, and I'm doing a little bit of volunteering with them. I just help out with their social media, but it always gets me to know what's going on because I'm posting their links. I'm now a lady in the know. Number 6. Last year with the lovely Tappy Joe, I completed my EFT training. So that's for the people that don't know. I've just got to finish off my exam and do my case studies, and then I'm fully qualified. But that kind of went on the back burner for the last part of the year just because I was busy doing other things. But I want to shift that to being quite a main focus at the moment. So that's a goal for this year. Number 7 is the podcast. So you know that Hazel and I started the podcast in about July time. We're on our 25th episode. That will go out today, and we'll be talking a little bit more about these sort of things. And if you're a nosy Parker like we are, you get to find out what Hazel's 21 for 21s are. And the podcast started as a lockdown project just to have something to focus on with a friend, and we've absolutely loved doing it. It's been
really good.
we've
Really interesting.
had amazing guests in, and we've just got to the point where we've exhausted most of our friends. So we're going up to minor pagan royalty and saying, would you mind being on the show? And we've had the lovely Sue Paramore.
Yeah, she's great. She was great. Yeah, that was a really good one.
Oh, she's an amazing singer. She has an absolute wealth of knowledge, and just the stories of how she created her things. Her Standing Stones album was just absolutely amazing, and she's an absolute star. And she comes on kind of every Sabbath now and does some storytelling, or
she's brilliant.
Lets us have some of the music or a poem sort of thing. And that's really good to recreate that being around the campfire that we're all kind of missing out.
Definitely.
Number 8 is collaborations. So I collaborate a lot with Sue, I collaborate a lot with Claire, but I'm just putting it out there. I'm absolutely open for more opportunities to collaborate with. I've at the moment got my eye on the lovely Carly Rose, who does the White Witch podcast, to do something with
her. Does she know about this, bless her heart?
Yes, she does know. She's not going to launch out onto the Walking with My God.
She's not suddenly hiding in a bunker somewhere in
But if you're out there and you're listening and you want to work with me, or you've got a fabulous idea and want somebody to help you out with it, tap me up. I'm always here to do a favour. Right, number 9 was my Glastonbury trip. For the last 2 years, I've wanted to run a retreat in Glastonbury, and it's just not happened. So this year, I'm not ruling out the idea of a retreat, but I'm being realistic and seeing what's happening in the world and the vaccines and how it goes. But even if I can't do a retreat this year, I'd like to go with Habby and toddle down and walk the tour and go to the Chalice Well and get my magical, misty, rusty tap water, as my son calls it. Number 10, enter more competitions. Last couple of months, there's been some online fairs and things like that, and I've bought some raffle tickets and I've won some lovely prizes. And I used to work with a guy who used to almost competitively enter competitions, and he would enter probably 50 plus every month, and he would some fabulous prizes, everything from little things to big things like holidays and cars.
Oh, wow.
Because he was constantly entering, his chances of winning anything were much higher. And there's so many competitions now that you don't even have to buy a book of stamps and enter, you can just do it online. And my chance of winning anything is as good as anybody else's. And anybody who follows me on Facebook will see I started off 2021 as a lottery winner.
You did.
And
hasn't changed her.
Hasn't changed me a bit. I'm still as down to earth as I was. You know, that £30 might turn another head, but not me.
Well, you know that £30 million Euro lottery winner? It wasn't Jen.
But the £30 lottery winner definitely was.
Yay!
And I'm taking that very much as a goodwill gesture from 2021.
It's a goodwill gesture from the universe.
Know that abundance is coming.
Well, if you won £30 every month, that'd be 360 quid. I mean, you wouldn't sniff at 360, would you?
Nothing to be sneezed at. Number 11 is to get my journal Journey to Awakening Your Magic published. It's pretty much done. There's a couple of things that I need to twiddle with, but we just got distracted really with other projects sort of thing. But again, it's to refocus and put that back on the front boiler rather than the back one. Number 12 was something that was on my list last year and I just didn't get it done. And it's acrylic pouring. Have you ever seen that?
You were talking about that the other night. No, is that... No, what is it? I won't even pretend to know.
Right, basically, you mix acrylic paint into a cup or something, and then you pour it onto a canvas. But if you put it through strainers and things like that, it makes this really, really beautiful abstract art. And it was something I saw last year. It used quite a lot of YouTubes on it, and I fancied having a go at it, and I just didn't get around to it. And I'm not going to say, oh my God, I'm a rubbish human being. That was on my list and I didn't get it done. Well, do I still want to do it? Let's check in. Yeah, I still want to do it.
Put it on the list. Yeah.
Pop it on the list for this year.
There's only so much time, isn't there? Time. That keeps coming up now, time. Everything's time now.
I think that's the great thing about the WOTY is once you've decided on it, if it's your right word, you get little reminders and synchronicities from the universe.
Definitely.
That's your word. Definitely is your word.
Shirley's fancying acrylic pouring.
Oh, maybe we'll do it in one of the arty in-betweens. So, right, the arty in-betweens was something I did between Yule and New Year, because I thought you get that middle spot where you don't know what you're doing and you just want to eat a lot of cheese and drink Baileys and eat selection packs. So we had a little day where we did some art together. So for one of the arty in-betweens, we'll do some acrylic pouring. So that'll be fabulous. Number 13, stuff I'm already doing. Folkestone Red 10, Kent Goddess Group, Moon Circle, Maidstone Pagans. It is just about making sure I make space for the things that uplift me and the things that I enjoy doing. It's not always got to be new stuff. No, it's the stuff that means things to you.
Definitely.
Number 14 was complete my ECDL. So that's the European Computer Driving Licence. I started it at college last year. We had a little pause on it because of COVID and moving in and out of bubbles and stuff like that. But that should go back in the new year. When I did my IT training, when I was 17, we were working on BBC micros. And technology's moved on, and I'm quite good with word processing and stuff like that, but spreadsheets make me cry. And we're doing a lot of things now where we're having to work on other people's documents, and then I keep breaking them and crying and then panicking and then thinking, who can I get to help me so nobody knows that I just broke this document that somebody else had. So I thought, right, bite the bullet, do some training, be more confident and expert at doing it, sort of thing. Another kind of educational one is sign up for CPD in September. So for CBT, for all those ones in the know, is your continued professional development. So last year we both signed up to do the sole midwifery course, which didn't happen again because of COVID. So I actually haven't said what it is I'm going to do, because I want to be a little bit more certain about what's going on in the world. So it will either be a short course, or I'm giving some serious thought to doing a master's degree in wellbeing, because I think that will benefit me both personally, professionally, in my work and my little business sort of thing. But I haven't committed to what that's going to be. That's just think about it. Number 16 was theatre. Now, hopefully that will be in real life, because I miss the theatre. I'm quite a cultural bird, as you see.
Oh, I thought you meant getting involved in being on stage.
No, I really like going to the theatre, and we've got some really great local theatres sort of thing. But if that can't happen, there's been a lot of things on The Show Must Go On. So there's been lots of musicals and stuff like that. So I will show up and I will watch those, but I will also remember to put me hand in the pocket and make a donation to a local theatre to keep them going on in these like really, really hard times. I'm hoping to catch up with the Marlowe's panto later on this morning. So looking forward to that. Number 17 was more social media free days. And this was something that I realised that I miss from camping and doing like the pagan camps throughout the year, because it automatically brought in times where you wouldn't be on your phone.
Yeah.
Because after 24 hours being in a field, your battery dies or you might not get signal. And we naturally had those tech detox days built in, and where we've not had those, we've missed out. So I'm going to just, I'm going to put on social media going to my cornfield, so you don't all panic and say, well, Jenny hasn't posted 32 times today. Has she had one of her turns?
Where is she? She had a funny term. Where is she?
So if you ever see going to my cornfield, don't panic. I'm just taking a bit of time out. And number 18, to complement the tech-free days, is more board games. We used to have some amazing, we used to call them the Day of Awful, didn't we? And Awful People.
Yes, we did.
Cards Against Humanity and
Bucket of Doom.
So I want to do some more of those. And again, this might wait till later in the life, because it wants to be in real life. It wants to be people around the table with their snacks, doing their games and stuff.
Oh, that was honestly, we laughed so much, didn't we? We cried with laughter, absolutely cried with laughter. Yeah, I'll never think about Barry White in the same way again. But all gimp masks just don't get me there. But Shirley says she misses. Oh, morning, Sharon. Sharon's here as well. But Shirley says she misses the theatre. She does a trip to the Globe. It's got online stuff. So.
Yeah, there's lots of good stuff. So again, if you find anything that looks exciting, share it on your timelines, tag people in, tag me in particularly, because I like a little bit of the hoi polloi, Number 19, more handwritten letters. I stopped doing Christmas cards a few years ago. I just donate to charity, but I was realising how much joy I got from cards this year. I still don't necessarily know if I want to keep cards, but I want to start sending more handwritten letters, because I think there's something really, really nice in getting something in the post that is not a massive bill.
Yeah.
And again, it's that stuff that slows you down, makes you really think about what you're doing. So more handwritten letters was my number 19. Number 20 is soul writing. Now, you might have heard me mention this before.
Yes.
There's this lovely chap called Matt Rivers, and the first Sunday of the month is always going to be a freebie. Like everybody else, he needs to charge for his time and his input. So the other ones are going to be either £15 a session, or you can do, he's doing 2 sessions a week and you can get unlimited access for I think it's about 40 quid. But if you check Matt Rivers out on social media, and you know, if times be hard for you, and they are for some people, roll up to his first Sunday of the month, which is free or by donation sort of thing. But yeah, soul writing is absolutely brilliant.
That's something that I was interested in, actually. Shell said that her family do weekly board games. I think they have a Friday night board games, if I remember, with Shell, using Tabletop Simulator and Discord.
I've not tried Discord.
No,
I've heard about Discord.
Yeah, I've heard about it. And Sylvie says, I give handmade tree decks rather than cards. And
I got a fabulous one from Sylvie. It was a tiny little crocheted toilet roll, which I think is very much the emblem of 2020.
Definitely.
For that, Sylvie.
Definitely.
So yeah, songwriting is absolutely lovely. He's a brilliant facilitator, and he just gets you to connect. He's got these unrules for writing, and I just highly recommend him. I really do.
You've been praising him up for a long time. It's something that I was going to ask you about anyway, actually, so you've just answered the question for me.
Yeah, what I'll do is once we finish, I will go back on and I'll post some links.
Please, yeah, please.
That are relevant. And if I haven't posted something, just comment below and let us know, and then I will find you the link.
Yeah, and if you can put your I mean, I did post the link to Gretchen Rubin's thing the other day, but any links you want to put in about anything you run or do, just stick them on the end of this, because it's, you know, people. I mean, we've got quite a few people actually live now, but I know a lot of people come back and look, and looking at the insights, a lot of people look later in the week, obviously, you know, so people do get quite a lot out of, and I just like sharing things, like sharing ideas. I mean, that's how you get things. Very few people ever have a completely original thought. A lot of it's shared, isn't it?
Yeah, and you know, we always quote where.
Sorry, I've got to deal with a cat that's scratching at a door.
It's okay, lovely.
Leave Daddy alone.
So my number 21 was Tech Tuesdays and blog accountability. So what
Sorry about that, Jen.
About is I'm writing constantly all the time. You know, every day I'm doing some writing. And my blog that I run, I post a couple of times in January and then completely forget about it. You're really good for your blogging, aren't you?
Oh, no, I'm not as good. Well, we'll come to that in a minute. But yeah, I'm not as good at all this year. It's gone out the window.
But I think it's this thing about being accountable, isn't it? So over in the private group for All Heart Led, I'm going to do a little bit of a writing accountability group, and that will be the opportunity to just polish things up, run them through another set of eyes, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And also, Tech Tuesdays is a group that grew out of Optivo. So I did pop-up business school. Not last year, the year before that. Then Optivo came along. They're like a housing organisation, and they do it to support people in housing association properties, but it's open to other people, sort of thing. And they had a meeting on a Thursday morning, and I couldn't carry on doing that after September because I went back to work. But another group kind of grew out of that called Tech Tuesdays, and it's run by John the Computer Man. I think it's John Crowhurst.
John the Computer Man.
Another lady called Sarah. And basically, they're both two really techie souls sort of thing. People can go to them and sort of say, actually, I've got a problem with this program or that, and they help you with some links, and it's just really cool.
It's a good idea.
I'll find a link to that and pop it in as well.
Yeah, please, yeah.
Just genuinely lovely people. So that was my list, and again, I don't think there's anything there that I'm not going to be able to achieve this year unless time becomes a factor, sort of thing. They're all things that I really want to do, not things that I think I should do. because that's what put me off, you know, New Year's resolutions, because they were always join the gym and lose 2 stone. Well, you know, I never lost that 2 stone, and if I did, it came back and bought a few extra pounds for comfort.
I was going to say, the only pounds you lost were the gym fees.
It's not, I don't want to go to the gym, you know. Aerial silks, a bit
Yeah,
of,
you gave that a go last year, didn't you?
shack for dancing. That's what I want to do, but it's society that tells us that we should do things, and it's that checking in with your authentic self and thinking, actually, what do I want to do this year? So that's my 21. That's me chatting my guns for a while. What are yours, Claire?
Ah, okay. Well, mine was I want to write more. Now, whether that's stories or poems or what have you, whatever, just write more. Because I've got lots of ideas and I just don't get around to doing it, and it's I just need to write more, so I'll be coming along to your writing jobby. Learn to crochet. So I'm going to very poignantly say Sylvie, because I know she's a bit of a crochet queen, and obviously the lovely Mandy Thorne. Do you know Mandy? You know Mandy Thorne, I think you do. She's a crocheting queen, and I've tried to learn to crochet before. I know, crap. I can't get hold of it. I can knit, but I can't crochet, so it's really strange. So I want to learn to do that, because again, it's something that if I can't get out and do stuff, it's something I could do, you know, indoors. Fiona says, yay for crochet. Can you crochet, Fiona? If you can crochet, then you can help me. I know Sylvie will, and I'm sure Mandy will as well. I can't knit, because Sylvie can't knit. Oh, well, I'm not brilliant, but I can knit. Isn't it funny? She can crochet, but she can't knit. How bizarre is that? And Laura crochets, isn't she? Our Laura, as opposed to my Laura, who's now our Laura, but it's very confusing. So I want to, Fiona says, I want to Fee can knit as well. I want to restart and complete my counselling course. I started a counselling course, the freebie one I found, but I just it didn't happen, so I want to revisit that and go back to that and speak to them and get that sorted there. You know, I just think that's something that will help my jobs and what I do. My soul midwife course, I'm so gutted we couldn't do that last year. Oh, Fiona says, should we start a stitch and bitch? Is that being impeccable with our word, Fiona? Oh, Shirley's dad taught her to crochet. Huh? Knit and natter. Oh, and Lonnie's here. Blessed be. She says, hello, Lonnie. Oh, stitch and witch, Sylvie says.
Stitch and witch, yeah.
Stitch and witch sounds better. So I want to do that. I have found, I've been in touch with Holly. Do you remember Holly we met at Roots?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been in touch with Holly, so I'll come back to do that. I want to do my family celebrant course with River, who I did the funeral one with. Although I do weddings, I want to do, she's got another course again which is online, so that's something I've just got to save the money up to do, and I can do that, which will keep me amused. I want to run a Walking with My Goddess workshop, which is kind of also do embroidery. Cheryl says I can embroider, that's cool. Stitch and witch, yeah, Fiona's up for that. Workshop, well, I think we're doing one in February, aren't we, with Sue Summits. It hasn't got that, didn't necessarily walk in my goddess, but yeah, I do want to do some workshops. I mean, ideally I'd do a face-to-face one, but that isn't happening, so I was going to do something online for that. Run a retreat, that might have to be online this year, but well, we had a mini festival online, why not?
Yeah, and it worked.
It worked, didn't it? Get healthier and fitter, as in not lose weight, but just eat more healthily and be well, because that's a kind of a double-edged sword right now. So obviously that's kind of essential. I want to practice and improve my healing, so Reiki and crystals, but also explore aromatherapy and massage. I want to create my own oracle deck.
That's a good one.
And I want to create something art or sewing or something arty-farty each month. Make sure I have a thing I do, and whether it's make something, draw something, as long as I've done something each month, it can be whether I've crocheted a square that big. I would be so impressed with that. So impressed. Volunteer somewhere. It's interesting. A lot of ours are a similar
Very
thing.
similar.
Very similar. And I was thinking perhaps about the hospice. There's a hospice quite near me. I'm going to create a 2021 time capsule. So whether that's digital or, I suppose we're creating a time capsule anyway, aren't we?
Yeah.
Really, digital time capsules. But I'd quite like to bury one. Blog consistently again, because I've got out the habit of that. Try yoga. It's on my list every flipping year. And now I've got no excuse not to, because now I know, Claire, we could practice distance healing on each other. We could, Fiona. I think I might come out of that better than you do, but we give it a go, darling. Me and Mark had one that we wanted to paganise our house decor-wise. So we want to redecorate and make it a bit more pagan-y themed.
Ooh, have you got any ideas?
Well, Mark did say a West Ham room, and I was like, no, that's not pagan. That's not how. So yeah, just he bought me some lovely flags for Christmas that have all got goddesses on them, and I've got lots of bits that we don't put up. So we're kind of working on that to make it more. It's quite green, our house, and it's nice, but we haven't thought about that yet. But make it kind of reflect who we are now, where we are. So that's got me up to 17, which is visit Folkestone Labyrinth. Because I've never been.
Thing to do is to get people to walk the labyrinth with me.
Yeah, and I think I need a guide for that, socially distanced, of course. From my list from last year's visit Hampton Court. Okay. Never been to Hampton Court, and I'd really like to go. That's what we were going to do for my birthday. But yeah, so visit Wayland Smithy as well. I think it's in Oxfordshire. And that could be something. Mark's probably in the other room going, oh God, what's she got me up to now? All that's fabulous.
Fiona, every endeavour, doesn't he?
He does. To be fair, he does. And that is, again, something that as long as we can travel, that's something that we can do safely. So I picked a few things, because we didn't go and do half the things I wanted to do. When I went, the other thing is spend a weekend in Glastonbury with Mark. We did go there for the day last year when we went to Wiltshire. We went over to Somerset, but we want to stay in the Georgian Pilgrim. I love that place. Though my friend Sarah says she's been and it's really, really haunted. Don't tell Mark that. I hope he's not watching. And the last one, 21, is visit Crossbones Garden. Now, I've been to the vigil, but I've not been into the garden because they're not open at the same time. So that might not be possible. So I put and vigil, but then you can do that online.
Yeah, I did that a couple of times.
Yeah, and I've not done that yet. And it's a case of finding the time, fitting it in with everything I wanted to do. And like this morning, I made myself get up. I mean, yesterday I had a stonking. I got up at 20 to 12. I woke up at 20 to 12. We didn't go to bed till late, but I was like, no, I'm going to set my alarm. And I was like, what do you mean it's 9:30? Jenny doesn't care if I don't look nice. But then we had a meditation session with our, Queenie's up for Labyrinth as well. Yeah. I think Fiona's up for Wayland Smithy. Definitely, so I could do it sometimes soon. Wonder if it comes under essential. Definitely comes up. Oh, hello, Kelly. Oh, my friend Kelly's watching. Hello, Kelly. Oh, bless her. And here's a big mwah for Kelly. I used to work with Kelly when I worked for KCC, and I haven't seen her for ages. Hope you're well, sweetheart. Hope you and Mum are well, and your brother. Mwah, mwah, mwah. And Shirley wants to go to Crossbones again. So, that's something, as soon as we can travel and get out and about, that'd be cool.
One of the things when I did my Crossbones visit with Sue was it's literally a stone's throw from the Globe Theatre.
Yes.
So what might be nice when it's safe to do so and we do some visits and stuff is go do something at the Globe.
Cheryl that was on my list for last year, the Globe. Sharon says loves doing labyrinth work. Labyrinth, I meant. What's Wayland Smithy? Oh, Fiona. Wayland Smithy is a borough in, I think it's in Oxfordshire. And it's I do like a bit of a standing stone. Just, yeah, Wayland Smithy. It's quite impressive. I could show you a photo of it. It is. You can't see it very well, Fee, but that is Wayland Smithy there. Yes. And Shirley's saying, yes, 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 Jen. I think that's probably to the Globe. But that was on my list for last year. So, oh, here's my lovely 20 and 21 I made. And again, I've put that on my wall. Obviously, I've taken it off my wall, but to remind me of all the things I want to do. Because if it's in front of you, you go, oh, yeah, I want to do that. Yeah. And it reminds you. Yeah, so that's mine, and it really helped having that on my wall. And I've only just taken down, last year Jen and I did a little 5-day mini course thing with the fabulous Kathy Heller, didn't we? And that was about
that's amazing,
getting your butt in gear and going. And I've got some of them on the side of my computer nest, because I've got the 5 some of the things were so, some of the things people told me about myself when I asked them, which was quite a brave thing to do, they really, I've still got them there, because I thought, no, they mean a lot to me. And I'm like, when I look at them and go, yeah, no, I am this and I am that, I can do this. So that was my 21 things. So but again, I'll put pictures of those up. I've got some pictures, but I will put pictures of those up on the page. Don't forget Margate Retreat, Shell Grotto. Oh yeah, well, we've got to be able to get out safely, but when we have, I think we're having a mass trip. Could you imagine when the world is safe again? People just going to be running around the whole of the UK looking at all these things. Visitors are going to go straight up through all the different places. Hampton Court, I've watched everything. I've never been, and I really want to go. Isn't it strange, the things you want to do? And Bletchley Park, but I couldn't fit it all on. So that's my 21 list for 21.
That's fantastic. And this is what I like about the sharing of these things, because all of a sudden, we've got people saying, yeah, Stitch and Witch, I want to do that.
Yeah, that sounds like a great thing, Stitch and Witch.
Once we've shared it and put it out there, we can find people who want to collaborate on those ideas and that. And it's so much more likely to happen, because just one person on their own, you'll forget about it. One of the things, just looking at the way that you've done your pictures, is I think I'm going to do that. But I think I'm also going to invest in some really nice, not necessarily expensive, because you can pick them up for a couple of quid, it's photo frames, and put them up and have them front and centre, and just invest that little bit of time and that small investment in the cost of a frame to make them extra special.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of like my vision board and 2021 list all in one. But I really enjoyed doing it. I was sitting there humming away. I was listening to my friend Jacqueline, Jacqueline Durban, who comes on, and she was reading a story. She does and she does prayers as well, and they're beautiful prayers, because they're multi-faith, multi everything. And she was reading this story about Miss Happiness and Miss Flower, 2 Japanese dolls. I think I put on Laura's gratitude thing last night on the Wellbeing Centre. And they're just I was humming away, listening to them, sticking things on, thinking, I feel like a really big kid, but it's beautiful, because that shows you the opportunity and as a child, you think anything is possible. You can be an explorer, you can ride a dinosaur down the road, do you know what I mean? You can go and live in a castle, all that. No one's squashed you down and gone, you can't do this, you can't do that. And that feeling of that freedom of, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this. And I sat and worked through this list, and actually it was really hard just to have 21. And some of these are from last year, because I started 100 list just last year. And some of them are from that I just couldn't get around to, physically couldn't go, physically couldn't get to these places because of COVID. But yeah, so that's my list. But again, having those pictures up, I mean, some people have a list, and hello, Gnomes, my neighbour Gnomes. Good morning, Gnomes. She's lovely. She's a hero, is Naomi. when I had to go in hospital, I just messaged her on WhatsApp and went, "Can you feed the cats? I'm in Pembury Hospital." She's like, "Yep." And she had to, because Mark was away, she had to feed the cats for the whole week. And then I go, and she's just a hero. I love Naomi. She's just so lovely. Anyway, so morning, Nose. So yes, so back to 20 for 21. So that is our 20 for 21, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
I genuinely love hearing them. So if you want to go away, do some reflection, and post on your timelines, post in the comments here, so we can go back, and because there is all this inspiration and all these opportunities to do things together. And I think 2021 is very much about magical coffee has arrived. Thank you very much. See the power of manifestation.
Where's mine? I think as well, it's interesting that I think I noticed 3 of ours were the same.
Yeah.
And that's what's Lon saying? Hopefully a big pagan gathering on Sea Salter Beach in soon with my white horse pagan circle. Lon, I'd really look forward to that. I think we're missing that. And it's great to do this, but it's great to be in person with people, isn't it?
I think that's something I really love about the Kent pagan community is, there's actually no boundaries. I go over to Maidstone pagans, I've been with Canterbury pagans. We've got a really, really vibrant community, actually when it is safe to do so, I think lots of cross-pollinating, a lot of moot hopping, because really we're one big crazy loving family.
Pretty much that's pretty much sums it up, doesn't it? And like we're talking about the labyrinth and the stitch and witch, and those are ideas. So that when hearing Jenny's, I thought, oh, I fancy that and all. Oh, I quite fancy that and all. And it doesn't mean you can't do more, but no. I mean, if somebody else listening's gone, oh, I fancy trying that. I mean, for example, our friend Laura has just she's just trained as a yoga instructor, and I know she's very keen to she's doing online lessons. It's called Happy Place Yoga, and also our friend Janet on Hey Summit is doing online yoga. So there are all these things out there, and it's just getting hold of them and finding them, and it's a really thinking outside of the box time of the world, isn't it? The whole thing is think outside the box, and this came about because I was sitting here thinking, well, I can't go and meet people. How can I, not that I'm trying to convert everybody to, and Shirley's done Laura, and she'd recommend them. That's Laura Fulton's Happy Place Yoga. And it's, this, I thought, well, I can't go out and meet people, but I can meet people here. And like, for example, I don't know that I've ever met Sylvie in person. Lonnie, I've known for years online, but only met him once. And there was someone else that was on here earlier. Fee, I've met. Someone else was on here. Who's the other one? Someone else. I've only met once, or and you just think, but you feel them, and it'd be so nice to give these people a big fat hug, won't it? But when we can't, this is a way of, we're just finding different ways to do things, aren't we?
And I'm so proud of the community. It's really stepped up this year.
Yeah,
really, really stepped up. We've had everything from the Jack in the Green went online.
Yeah.
We've all been doing our little offerings in different ways.
Yeah.
And, I love creating content, but I really love being a participant in other people's offerings, sort of thing, because there's so much inspiration, there's so much love. Like you, I've only ever seen Lonnie once in real life.
And that we were together, weren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But whenever I've said to Lonnie, is it okay if I put my podcast up on your circle? It's like, yeah, cool, sister. And I love that he calls me sister.
Yeah.
Brother Lonnie, thank you very much.
Yes.
And, everybody has shown up, has given support, has, just inspired. The New Year's Eve gathering,
that's lovely.
The biggest New Year's gathering I think I ever had, because I usually do it around my coffee table at home, sort of thing, or kitchen table at home, was 6 one year. This year I had 11 people.
Yeah.
Some people who'd never been to an event before.
12, because you had me twice.
Ah, yeah. And it's lovely. and it kept us connected. And you know, a lot of us have been talking about when is the new year for witches and pagans, and we get 3 or 4 bites of that cherry. I keep chomping that cherry until there's nothing left. Every one of the seasons really is a chance to let go of something and
I agree
evoke
with
something
you, yeah.
else. But I think there is a real palpable energy to New Year's Eve.
Yeah,
and it doesn't mean you only get one chance to restart. Of course, we live secularly, so we know that there's always a chance to start over again. But I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody who's been part of our communities this last year.
It's coming to its own, isn't it?
Yeah, love, abundance, prosperity, health, wealth and happiness going into 2021.
Definitely.
Now.
Getting emotion. You're getting emotion, sweetheart.
Getting a bit emotion.
Well, that sounds like a really good place to leave that. So thanks so much, Jenny. I've really enjoyed listening to your WOTY, or finding out about your WOTY and listening to your 21 list. Hopefully a few people are inspired. Oh, ouch. The link on my watch is broken. So Jenny will put some links up. I'll put some links up. Share your you're welcome. Share your WOTYs if you want to. Share your 21 lists. Jen will put up links where you can join her for what she's doing as well. And I've been storing all the hugs up, so looking forward to giving them out. Oh, Lonnie, what a perfect note to leave that on, my love. You're what a legend. Right, so okay, I'm going to stop this being live on Facebook. So lovely to see you all. You take care, and blessings for 2021. Bye.
Bye.